There it is.
Okay. We are now recording. So once again, this is the merit badge overview for Camp Mincy for the 2025 season. I'm going to go through the merit badges that we offer and some of the scheduling things that you can pick out the merit badges and courses your kids are going to take during the daytime program. So I'm going to go program area by program area, starting with athletics. Actually, first, let me just talk a little bit about the way the schedule works. If you notice in the morning, we have 3 1-hour sessions. There is a handful of merit badges that go over 2 sessions. And scouts can take one course in each block for the entire week. Then if you look in the afternoon, the schedule works differently where there is a handful of things that are every day, mainly shooting sports. But most things are you could pick by afternoon. So you pick one activity for each afternoon of the week. So in athletics, we offer personal fitness and cycling merit badges. Those two merit badges are offered at 9 o'clock for personal fitness and 10 o'clock for cycling. They both have significant prerequisites. And for cycling merit badge, one key part that's useful for troops, I think, is we do offer the 22-mile back or 22-mile cycling trip that counts for the mountain biking requirement. That's on Thursday afternoons. That's an additional cost. They can do all the cycling beforehand and not incur an additional cost. But if they want to do that cycling with us, then that's an additional cost. If you notice, there's only merit badges in athletics in the morning because our athletics squad does the afternoon adventures as well. I'm gonna go over here. So we made some changes to the afternoon adventures for this year. If you're not familiar with them, these are some good opportunities for kids to do things that are not just merit badges. It's part of our beliefs that, there are things that you may want to do at camp just because you're at camp. And we have a full merit badge schedule for kids who are really interested in getting lots of merit badges. And we got a lot of activities that are just fun that kids can do throughout the week. The big change is if you notice on Monday, there is horseback riding still. But there is not a bus ride for the horseback riding. The costs were getting to the point where much of the cost was going to have to go towards the biking or towards the busing. And so if you notice, the cost went down a little bit for the horseback riding, but it is a 10-minute drive or 15 minutes there to the horseback riding. So if you want to do the horseback riding, we're asking that leaders help transport the scouts from their unit to the horseback stable. We can provide directions. It is very short, very quick, very easy drive. If you notice, there is several afternoon adventures that are in camp with no transportation required. There are two I'm going to highlight first that have transportation available, and that's the whitewater rafting and the mountain biking. And the company that we work through for those two provides the busing for us. So we're still able to provide busing for those two, and the cost is the same as last year. The whitewater rafting on Wednesday afternoons and the mountain biking on Thursday afternoons. For whitewater rafting, they must be a swimmer, and it will usually extend into the dinner time. So if you are doing cook in your site and those are your chefs, you need to make sure you plan accordingly because they will be coming back often late. The whitewater rafting is dependent on the water flow, and so it's difficult to predict exactly the time, but they will usually be back during the dinner time hour. Also, Treetop Adventures last year was one of our regular programs every week. This year, I will gladly help connect you to the Treetop Adventure people so that you can directly book with them. It'll be considerably cheaper not having to take the bus ride. It is also a 15-minute or less drive from camp. And if you want to do a group Treetop Adventure there, you can schedule that any day of the week. Just let us know when you're heading out of camp. I am gonna I'm gonna hand it over to Matt for a moment to talk about Trexler Rangers and Muck Hike.
Sure. Thanks, Proof. Um, So I'm going to talk real quick about both Treks Rangers and the Muck Hike, especially because I know we get a little bit of confusion sometimes from people who don't really understand what the difference between them is. So if you've never done one or the other, or if you've never done either, Trexter Rangers is a teamwork building obstacle course. We take it's anybody can do it. It's kids of all ages. Adult leaders are welcome to come out and participate as well. But we take groups out into the woods, and we have most of it is just built with like plywood and old tires, and the emphasis is not so much. It's not like a Tough Mudder or one of those where it's like a physical endurance thing. It really is about teamwork building and leadership skills and communication. There typically we do get a little muddy. That is totally optional though. So I mean, you can typically get away with wearing regular clothes, honestly. And if you don't want to get dirty, we can make it so that you can just wear your regular camp clothes. The Muck Hike, which should be on Friday this year, you cannot get away with wearing regular clothes. You are definitely going to get muddy on that. There's a swamp up in the back part of camp where you're literally just, sometimes you are waist deep in muddy, swampy water, and you're walking, you can't see where you're stepping, you're walking through just literal mud that goes up to your knees. So if you want to do the Muck Hike, it's a lot of fun. I know a lot of the kids like it, but you definitely want to wear shoes that are sturdy enough that they'll stay on your feet, but that you don't want to ever wear again when you get done. And I recommend long pants for the Muck Hike as well. I would say if you want to take your scouts out like a week or two before camp, excuse me, and check out some thrift stores, try and get some like dollar, see how cheap you can find a whole outfit for, and just use that for the Muck Hike because you're really not going to want to bring those clothes home at all. I think that's pretty much it,
Yeah.
unless there's any questions.
Can I
And then,
ask a question in general about the afternoon adventures?
sure.
Which of these have age limits on them?
So now with Treetop Adventure is the only one I'd really recommend being careful because um, in the past when we offered this, if there were younger scouts going, they were often intimidated by the course, and then they were paying to come over there and they weren't completing it. But all of the regular activities, there is no age requirement. So you can participate in anything on this list without an age requirement.
Just so you know, the horseback riding there is a weight limitation, though.
Yes.
So
And I will double check that weight limitation. I'll double check that.
I think it was 240 last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the only limitation. Other than that, whitewater rafting, being a swimmer. And I see I have a question in the chat. Okay, so Casey thinks it's 250 pounds. Casey often spent the afternoon with them. Next, I'm going to talk about aquatics, where we have a slightly different schedule than we had previously. And if I say anything incorrect, Dave is here on the call, so he can correct me out. So what we're doing is we're concentrating our staff on the merit badges in the morning. If you notice, we condensed a little, and we provided some additional classes there to make sure that we have enough classes for all your scouts. But the idea was that we could offer open boating, open swim, and mile swim work in the afternoons every day. One of the big requests that we had from troops over the year was that they'd love to spend, some quality time at the waterfront and just, spend the afternoon sailing or canoeing or kayaking. And now that is a possibility. So if you look on these merit badges, that first session, we have kayaking, canoeing, swimming, life saving, and the first small boat sailing class. In the second block, if you're in that first small boat sailing class, it is a double block class. So it would take up both blocks. We have rowing, canoeing, swimming, and then a second small boat sailing class will start in that second block. And then in the third block, we're offering kayaking, canoeing, life saving, and rowing. There is also, I'm going to cover a little later when we talk about Voyager, which was on that last list, and I didn't talk about it because I'm talking about it in the next section. Um, the the Voyager will be using our giant canoe in over Siesta. Okay, so Casey double checked. It is a 240-pound limit and at least 50 inches of height. And Whitewater does not require an adult leader. We have a lot of adults that come, but adults are welcome on that event and any of these events as well. Do we have questions on aquatics? Oh, stand-up paddleboarding is also available available during siesta, correct, Dave?
There we go. There we go. Yeah, so during siesta, we will be doing, I just saw it in the chat, instructional swim. We will do stand-up paddleboarding, and that's also when Miles Swim will be, as well as any merit badge help. If any scout is struggling with anything, we'll work with them during that time. So that way, we can make sure that all these guys, these kids get through these merit badges for sure.
Okay. There's no other questions on aquatics. I'm going to go to the next area. Yep, so it was a great question is age limit on merit badges. And actually there is 2 merit badges that have an age limit. I'm going to go over those as we go. These 3 in particular do not have an age limit, but I want to talk just a little bit about choosing whether this is the best badge for your scouts. Communication, I think scouts of all ages have been very successful with. Citizenship in the nation and citizenship in the world, sometimes younger scouts have a little trouble with, the complexity of the content. So just as you're going through these merit badges, just make sure that you think it's a good fit for that scout. We're not going to set an age limit for these because scouts come in a variety of maturity levels. But citizenship in the world in particular, I think there were some scouts that were having a little trouble with understanding the material last year. And being that these are Eagle required badges, we just want to make sure they have a really good experience out of them. So just work with these carefully. One other note, for example, in the citizenship in the nation, one of the prerequisites for this badge, which I know you haven't gotten the prerequisites yet, I'm updating the prerequisites with exactly what the scouts need to bring to fulfill the requirement. So as an example of why we're doing this, in this one, they have to, write a letter to their congressman. And they're supposed to discuss that letter with the counselor, and our counselor would really like to discuss the letters with them. And we had a lot of scouts last year who had a note saying they did the letter, but they didn't know what their letter was about, and there was no real way to discuss. So in a case like this, we're going to have a little note on there, please bring the following items, just to make sure we can discuss it with the counselor. Our goal is to meet the requirements exactly as stated. So I'm going to give you some little helpful hints on the prerequisite list just to help you with that process. And the prerequisites should be available soon. This week is my goal. Also, with the class size limits, there is a handful of classes that have class size limits, and 2 of them are on this very page, and that's citizenship in the nation and citizenship in the world. Those are 2 that do occasionally fill up. And the reason why we have a class size limit on there is with the discussion requirements. What we don't want to see is a scout taking an Eagle required badge, sitting there and being able to not participate and and get the badge by sitting there. So There is a class limit for these. I believe it's 25. And that's a pretty hard limit just to make sure that everyone gets an active engagement in that. If you have a scout, if there's an emergency and you're saying, well, you have a scout that's, 17 and turns 18 in August, really needs a specific merit badge, come talk to us because we can maybe work something out. We have a lot of counselors on hand for merit badges that may not even be teaching that specific merit badge. So we may be able to help you out, but just we want to make sure that in these badges in particular and some other ones, that they do meet the requirements. So we have 2 sessions of communications merit badge in the morning, and those are an everyday class. And then in the afternoons, Monday afternoon is citizenship in the nation. Wednesday afternoon is also citizenship in the nation, and Tuesday is citizenship of the world, and Thursday afternoon is also citizenship in the world. But on these, you just have to attend one of those days. So if you have all of your prerequisites, then you should be able to finish citizenship in the nation merit badge on Monday afternoon. If a scout has trouble with a merit badge, and let's say Monday they go, but there's some kind of complication with it, they forgot some things to bring with them and whatever else, they can meet with a counselor later in the week and fix it. Partially, that's why I like to have these merit badges not on Friday, because then we can make sure if there's any trouble with that merit badge and you're getting a partial and you don't expect it, we can make sure we fix that before you go home. Next, Econ. Econ has quite a wealth of merit badges this year, including everything needed for the complete angler patch. So that's not on this list here, but if you earn fishing, fly fishing, and fish and wildlife management merit badges, then scouts can earn the complete angler patch, and that's another fun award they can earn. So looking at that schedule, environmental science is one of the merit badges that has the most people take it while they're here at Camp Mincy. And so we offer 3 sessions of that to make sure that we have small enough classes that we can meet up with the scouts. So at 9 o'clock, they offer environmental science, insect study, and fish and wildlife management. Insect study in particular, I know I've had scouts from my troop take it just because they were interested, but there is some prerequisites there that involve raising an insect, and you need to look over that carefully. 10 o'clock, environmental science. Oceanography is a new one for the year that we've offered in the past, but not in the last couple of years. And then fishing merit badge. And then at 11 o'clock, environmental science, astronomy, and fly fishing. So one example is if you had a scout that really wants that complete angler patch and has none of those badges, at 9, 10, and 11, they could be fishing and they could get that complete angler patch over the course of the week. In the afternoons, these classes are a 1-day badge. So geology, nature on Monday, mammal study or reptile and amphibian study on Tuesday, geology or nature on Wednesday, mammal study, reptile, and amphibian study again on Thursday. And on Friday, we have a just for fun fishing derby. Scouts can fish all afternoon and then bring their fish to the Econ Lodge to get measured. And then we have fun awards for the biggest fish. Also, not on this list, on one evening during the week, and they're still working on the evening program schedule, they are going to offer pulp and paper merit badge as a 1-night badge. That one is a little quicker, and they can do that then. Go ahead. We have a question? No. Okay. Then on to Station 940. So Station 940 has 1 merit badge in the morning, first aid merit badge, which is a great merit badge to get here at camp. Then at the 10 o'clock block, we offer ECSI, CPR, and AED certification. If a scout takes the CPR and AED certification, there's an additional cost if they want to earn a card. One quick note of confusion for the card is that CPR cards are not typically a physical card anymore. They're an online card that gets emailed to you. And part of the reason is that has like a link that an individual can click on and verify that that's an accurate card. So if you have a scout who just wants to come to the class to learn, say, CPR and AED, but doesn't want the card, then there's no additional cost. We'll gladly teach you CPR. If you have scouts who want to get a certification card, then then it is an additional cost. The costs for everything will be on the prerequisite guide, and that's actually what's taking a little bit of time, is I'm just verifying the last bits of the costs before I give out that prerequisite guide to you guys. In the afternoons, we switched search and rescue merit badge to being 2 complete afternoons. It's better in a longer session. So if you want to do search and rescue merit badge, you have to come Monday and Tuesday afternoons. Wednesday, we're going to offer fire safety merit badge, which you can see scouts working on in the picture there. And then Thursday, we're going to offer crime prevention, which is new to us. And Friday, our Station 940 staff they're in charge of the muck hike. For our STEM merit badges. So we did switch this up a little bit. Space exploration is at 9 o'clock, which that's always a popular merit badge. Then we added in photography. We had a lot of scouts take movie making last year, and we had a number of them ask if we could consider offering photography. So Freddie is going to offer photography at 10 and movie making at 11. And then in the afternoons, we have Monday is robotics, Tuesday is aviation, Wednesday and Thursday is radio. We're requiring both days. I'm going to add that. I'm going to make that as a note here to make sure that's clear on the schedule. So if you take radio, you got to come both days. We switched it up a little bit. Last year, we had a request to do more with ham radios. And so I have a volunteer extra class ham radio operator who is going to come up. And then Friday, we're going to offer radio fox hunting. It is an option for radio merit badge, but we're going to offer it just for fun. That's what you see the scouts doing in this picture. And it is just a fun activity that we had a number of kids do last year, and it was enjoyable. Industrial arts. So at 9 and 10 o'clock, they are going to offer both automotive maintenance and electricity merit badges. At 10 o'clock, they're going to offer plumbing. 11 o'clock, home repairs, which will have some prerequisites. And then in the afternoon, welding is the one that has a few special requirements. So welding, it is 2 afternoons, Monday and Tuesday, or Wednesday and Thursday. And we're asking that scouts participating in welding are 14 or older, and they have to have long pants and solid shoes. So that was the only problem we had last year, was a lot of scouts not wearing full length pants, and you really have to wear good pants for welding. So that's one of the 2 that has an age requirement, welding merit badge. In handicraft, we have 9 o'clock, we have wood carving, art, and pottery. Wood carving does have a class limit. I think it is 20. When I first started here, we had 1 session of wood carving, and lots of kids wanted to take wood carving, but it was so many kids, it was a challenge. So I split it into 3 sessions and made a class limit just to make sure that it's safe and everyone can get the attention they need. So at 10 o'clock, there's also wood carving, music, and we're adding pottery. 11 o'clock, wood carving, game design, and sculpture. So all those are merit badges that we did offer last year, except for pottery. We had offered a number of years ago, and we are bringing it back. Also, in the afternoons, there's open handicraft, and scouts can do leatherwork and basketry any afternoon. Part of every handicraft merit badge is actually completing the crafts. And so most scouts in the morning classes are able to complete most of their project or all their projects during that class. If they want extra time to work on it, they can come in the afternoons. If they find themselves with a little free time in the afternoon and they want to earn leatherwork or basketry merit badge, they can simply pay for a kit and take those merit badges. most of these, with the exception of music and game design, do have an additional cost, and that will be in the prerequisite guide. Scoutcraft. So in 9 o'clock, they have wilderness survival, which does require an outpost. We are going to ask for volunteer adults for the outpost. So as long as we have enough adult volunteers, I'm going to answer that question in the chat in just a moment. As long as we have enough adult volunteers, all the scouts are welcome on the outpost. So we like to have at least one female adult to be able to offer female scouts the outpost, one male adult to offer male scouts the outpost. If we already have a volunteer, we can let you know. Volunteers who come on wilderness survival can stay in a tent. They don't have to build a shelter and stay. Also, if scouts would prefer to do their wilderness survival outpost in their campsite, that's also fine as well. Also at 9 o'clock is pioneering. Pioneering merit badge. I am just going to recommend that you strongly consider which scouts are going to take pioneering merit badge. Previously, we've had some newer scouts that didn't know a lot of knots coming into pioneering merit badge, and this is a knot intensive merit badge. There's a lot of lashing and a lot of knots to tie. So if you have a scout that has no knowledge of knots at this point, pioneering merit badge may not be the best choice for them. I would make sure that it is either a scout that is good at tying knots or a scout that is a little higher ranked and has proven that they can tie the basics. Emergency preparedness, we offer 2 sessions. That's also one that people like to take here at camp. At 10 o'clock, we also offer geocaching and camping. 11 o'clock, sign signals and codes. And cooking merit badge is different than we previously offered. 2 years ago, we struggled to get all of the cooking in. Last year, we tried to shake up the schedule a little bit and offer more cooking in the afternoon, and did not anticipate the popularity of that program. And so that still became difficult to get all the cooking in and get kids hands-on experience. So now our cooking merit badge starts at 11 and extends over lunch. So the scouts will be cooking their lunch each day. And that way we can make sure that we get a lot of hands-on cooking experience. And the scouts are meeting all of the requirements. There are some prerequisites. I can tell you the home cooking is definitely going to be a prerequisite because it specifically says that you're doing that at home. And as much as we are your camp home, that part of the merit badge has to be done actually at your house. They have open Scoutcraft every afternoon. Monday and Wednesday, they're offering exploration. Thursday, geocaching and a trail marking competition. And Friday, a fun Brownsea Island games. And now I'm gonna just open up back to the questions in the chat. Question was about the leatherwork and basketry kits. And leatherwork and basketry kits, we are going to do similar to last year. So what you'll do is you'll just buy, actually, I think, Brian, I don't know, are we going to try to put this through Double Knot or are they going to purchase it at the trading post?
I'm going to try to get it through Black Pug, but if I can't, then it's going to go through the trading post.
So hopefully, as all of this goes onto Black Pug, it'll have the cost right there. I don't anticipate the cost going up from last year, but I will try to get during our question and answers at the end here. I'll try to get the cost of leatherwork and basketry from last year. I'll get that to you. Brownsea Island games is some fun, very scouty games, open to everyone, such that you would play with patrols, but we'll break up the kids who come to play the games into patrols, and they can compete in that. I'm gonna put I'll put a little description in the leader's guide for you guys because that way you have that. All of that cooking will be in Cooking Merit Badge over their lunch. I think deep fry might be incorporated into evening programs, which that schedule is not released yet. We do not have ATVs at camp. Merit Badge selection will be open April 1st. So I wanted to make sure that you had a chance to look over these with your scouts and have a good conversation with them before they opened up. I was a little worried that if we, opened it up right at this meeting, then people were going to want to sign up right away, and you didn't get a chance to really talk to your scouts about it. So with I know Friday afternoon tends to be a fun afternoon. We have a question about, can you do multiple Friday afternoon things? The muck hike will definitely take the whole afternoon. So that'd be difficult to do that with anything else. And Brown Sea Games, I'm sure you could do part of that and also switch midway if you wanted to. I moved the muck hike to Friday, largely because a lot of kids have kind of finished up a lot of their merit badges on Friday, and I just wanted to see if this was a good day for us to try it. I know it's a hugely popular activity, and there is a lot of fun things on Friday afternoon. So they're gonna have to pick. Shooting sports merit badge. There's only a few changes in here. Archery merit badge is double block in the morning. Rifle shooting has 2 sessions. It used to be a double block class, but with our new target system where they can just retrieve it by pulling back the cord and they can keep shooting continuously with no breaks, rifle merit badge goes quicker, so that they don't need to double block anymore. Open archery, open shooting. Fridays is usually the kids who need to finish for the merit badge. So if you want to do open archery or open shooting, just for fun, if you could do that on plan on doing it an earlier day in the week. There's often kids who are really struggling to finish the merit badge, and so we want to make sure we have it for that. I am going to see if I can get this to go backwards. Okay, I'm going to pause, stop sharing for a moment so I can fix that. There we go. In the afternoon, archery is a double block and it is every day. So if you do archery in the afternoons, you have to commit to that for every day. Shotgun shooting is every day except for Tuesday. So if you take shotgun shooting at camp, it's available in the afternoons, 9 or at 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock. You come every day except for Tuesday. Tuesday we open up for cowboy action shoot. And that's where we have a breech loading shotgun and some handguns. That is also a requirement that you have to be 14 or finished 8th grade to do cowboy action shoot because of the handguns. Open archery, open shooting at the 4 o'clock slot again, except for Friday, we want it to be for the kids who are finishing the merit badge. Also, they're going to offer 5-stand shooting for experienced shooters and adults who are experienced shooting, and that schedule will be out on the other activity schedules. Okay. And now Mincy Mountaineers, which was our Mountain Man program last year. This is now a full-fledged program area. They're going to offer metalwork merit badge. So for the options for metalwork merit badge, we are going to do the blacksmithing. So there is blacksmithing involved. This, we're asking if they're going to do the actual metalwork merit badge. We're asking that they also be 14 and have sturdy pants. I've been told that some of the younger scouts really struggle with finishing blacksmithing merit badge. And so we want to keep this to 14 and up just to make sure that we have the scouts successful with it. We are going to offer open blacksmithing Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. That's going to be a chance where we'll have some tickets at the trading post, and you can buy tickets to complete some blacksmithing projects, and then take them up and come up for the afternoon and use our forge and do a little blacksmithing. Also, Tuesday and Thursday, we're going to offer Voyager, which is going to be what we called Mountain Man last year. So you will meet up after lunch down at Aquatics, and then you will ride this giant canoe in this picture here. And they take the canoe out past the point there and go to Second Bridge and dock there. And then the scouts will be able to get off. And then we do some leather branding and tomahawk throwing and two-man saw competition. And that's open to every age. Any scouts who want to do it is open to. I have a question in the chat about afternoon adventures filling up. The only one that does often fill up is the horseback riding. I think it's 16 we can have for horseback riding. Whitewater rafting does occasionally fill up closer to camp, but I think there's 55 people we can put on that bus. Cycling has never filled up, and Trexler Rangers and the Muck Hike have an unlimited, no cap. There's an unlimited number of spaces for everyone. Voyager also, we could easily handle quite a number of people, so I don't think we'd have to worry about capping that. And then the only part of the schedule I skipped was the Trail to Adventure. And in Trail to Adventure, we have 3 sessions in the morning and 3 sessions in the afternoon. They are specifically tied to ranks. So you can have your first year scouts participate if they choose to. So at 9 o'clock, we're going to offer some tenderfoot requirements every day. At 10 o'clock, second class requirements. At 11 o'clock, first class requirements. And then in the afternoon, it's a repeat of the requirements from the morning. 2 o'clock, tenderfoot. 3 o'clock, second class. 4 o'clock, first class. And we do it this way for a number of reasons. But one of the big ones is this. I would have scouts who were, second class already coming to summer camp or almost second class. And then, to commit to a whole day or a half day of Trail to Adventure when they've already kind of met half the requirements, it just doesn't make sense. And I want to have a chance that they can take some merit badges. So if you are in Trail to Adventure, you can choose a half day in the morning or a half a day in the afternoon. You can shorten that if you already have some of those ranks finished. And that way scouts can experience more of the programs than just Trail to Adventure. I know every camp does their first year camper program a little differently. And a lot of them offer some chance to get a merit badge or 2 in that program. But then, if we did it that way, all of our scouts would have to get the same merit badge. So we want to give the chance where they can come for the sections that they need and spend time doing merit badges that they want to do in the other sections. So question that always comes up is, do my kids have to do the first year camper program? And no, they can discuss with their scoutmaster which programs best meet their needs, and you can sign them up accordingly. Any other questions on first year camper? Yep. So this is what I've had other scouts do this before. The question is, so for example, can they just take the first class TTA session and not the others? And yes, They can just pick the ones that they need. So if you have a scout who has no rank, like they just joined and you want them to do all three, they can do all three. If you have a scout that's a little more advanced and they only want to do the second class or first class sections, they can just pick and choose. Those requirements, I am expecting them to be identical to the others. I just may switch up the days a little bit. So if you look at the list of requirements that's currently on the website, those requirements should be about the same. It may shift a little bit which days are which.
Do the first year program earn merit badges in that if they do the whole thing?
So if they do the whole thing and they stay there, it's only half a day, but they won't earn any merit badges there. But they could spend the other half of the day earning merit badges elsewhere.
Okay, thank you.
I usually, I'm also a scoutmaster of a girl troop. And this comes up all the time because my kids who are coming to camp for the first time have a merit badge that they desperately want. And so I have trouble with, like they don't want to commit to the first year camper program because they like, for example, I have two girls that are now star, but they desperately want a kayaking merit badge. And the camp we were at, it was kind of an all or nothing. And this is great because they can kind of mix and match their schedule, and get that merit badge they really want. Because I think if scouts, if your first year scouts have a great experience at camp, I think you'll keep them. And so sometimes you got to make trade-offs. I think in a first year camper program, you can learn a lot of basic skills. A lot of those you could also do at a troop meeting. So, it's a great experience, but you have options. And if kids really have something that they really want to do, I would try to find a way to get them to do it. One thing we wanted to mention is if you have scouts who are unsure of their swimming ability, just have a backup plan in case the aquatics merit badges don't go as planned. So the first requirement of every aquatics merit badge is to pass the BSA swimmer test. So I'm going to make sure that's on the prerequisite guide for you. But we have a lot of scouts who might come up to camp planning to take their test on, Sunday, and perhaps it just doesn't go the way they want. They may think they're a really strong swimmer, and it may not quite pan out that way in the test if they're taking it at camp. So I would just have a backup plan if they're planning to take the swim test at camp, and you're not sure if they're going to pass or not. I would come up with some ideas of other merit badges they might want to take just in case that doesn't go the way they want. Next question is this. Where can I get all of this information after this meeting? So I am going to share something. So what you may have noticed is that our camp website changed recently, since last summer. And it's gone through a lot of change in this year, and it is going to go through a little more change over the next month to another brand new website. So I am going to share with you a folder from Google Drive, and that will have the information, that you'll have a copy of it. But I'm going to make sure you're there, and I'm going to add in as new things update. I'm going to put it into that same Google Drive for now. And then as we get the new website set up, everything will be on the website as well. In Black Pug, you'll also be able to get the prerequisites there. And all the signups will be through there. And in the end, you will get your blue cards from there too. So they'll be all in one spot. So we have a question about swim checks. Whether you should do them at camp or if you could do them before your arrival. We do have a form that is on our website that you can use, and I can email you one as well. So if you want to do your swim checks ahead of time, I think it's a great choice. And that's your option as a troop. So you'll just need that form and a copy of like whatever certification the person had that gave the swim checks. So, another question related to that is, let's say a scout does not pass the swim check and wants to work on it. Instructional swim time is over siesta. They can come down over siesta and keep working on their swim check, and do some instructional swim then. And that way they won't, like if you, let's say you take a swim check on Sunday and it doesn't go the way the kid wants and they really want to work on it, you won't have to drop a merit badge to take instructional swim. Yeah, and for those who are not familiar with us, we have a beautiful 314-acre lake. It is not in a pool, so everything is in the lake.
And I will add to that a little bit.
Yeah,
There are a lot of scouts that struggle from a pool to a lake. The merit badges are all also done in the lake. So even if they made swimmer in the pool, I recommend them at least getting in the water to make sure they're comfortable with the lake. It's just one of those things that can be a serious mental block, especially for younger scouts. And I don't ever want to turn a kid away from a merit badge, whenever possible. And also, if you do your swim tests ahead of time, the form will be done. And I would also like to just have a quick chat with the leader that was hopefully there during those swim checks, just to make sure that, everything was done by the book and to the best of everybody's ability.
I'm going to stop the recording now, and I'm actually going to cut off this last bit where we can see all of your names in the recording. But I'm going to stop that now.